All right, now we are resuming the Facilities Committee meeting, going over the capital budget. Mr. Brooks,
So, the first page.
your microphone's not on.
That would be helpful. Thank you. So I'll go through this rather quickly. You all have seen this before. What this is for the 1920 or 1920 budget. We're looking at capital budget 3.933027. I'll go through. It's a little tough to read on the screen, but I have the handout for you under the administration building, and I'll also tie in the other issue on the agenda. We have, at this point, $100,000 remaining in the, for the administration building for the HVAC system. We have next year $120,000 budgeted for a bucket truck. We have an opportunity to buy a bucket truck that's a demo, less than 150 miles on it, for $77,000 and change. So we're looking to have permission to transfer the money out of the HVAC into the vehicle maintenance to buy that bucket truck, and then take the $120,000 and drop that back into HVAC under administration. Okay?
Fantastic. Then there's 120, the truck.
Yes, the truck.
The warranties start at the current mileage that we're going to take
Correct.
over.
As soon as we take ownership of it, the warranty starts. It's
What's the savings, Mark? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
about $15,000.
Okay.
That we're getting this truck, we get an $8,000 trade-in on top of that.
Oh, fabulous.
So we're getting it for about $78,000.
Yeah.
Significant savings, plus that if we were to buy it brand new after July 1, you're typically looking at 6 to 9 months before delivery on something like that. The current truck has about 64,000 miles on it, but has transmission problems as well as serious rust problems in the bed.
Rust issue. So if we parked that $70,000 truck inside a new maintenance facility.
Yes, we could actually get more years out of it, yeah.
And then the squirrels wouldn't eat the hydraulic lines.
Yes, well,
Oh, that's a whole.
Okay, well,
so
thank
my
you.
father was a hydraulics mechanic in the Marine Corps, so that's the thing.
so I apologize that the screen is very difficult to read, but going through here for the administration building, we're looking at essentially $517,500 for next year, and I'll focus on the 1920 year. The transportation department, $499,260. That includes bus replacements between 4 and 5. It's tough to read, so I was just going to go off the sheets.
I'm just not seeing 499. Oh, 1920, got it. You added a column.
Yeah,
I got it. Nope, no,
1920.
you added the column.
So that includes between 4 and 5 buses, depending upon how the bids come in, according to John Hearn. And that what we would do for the sleep study is 2 of the buses would not be traded in, so we have really no additional cost for the buses outside of maintaining them moving forward.
Can I ask you a question, Mark?
Sure.
Are we looking at using more smaller buses?
Yes.
When we're purchasing them?
Yes. John had indicated to me that he was looking at some smaller buses
Okay.
that might be able to handle some of the routes more efficiently. I don't think we have that totally worked out yet.
Right.
But that's what he's certainly looking into that.
Good, thank you.
The 72-passenger buses can be somewhat, bulky, and especially
We
on
can
some
park
long runs.
more if we're
Yes.
worried about our space. We get some
Exactly.
smaller buses, and it might save us some space and park them in there.
And those are available, the smaller buses are available as the propane, because these are, now, we're replacing the fleet with propane at this point,
Correct.
right?
At this point, yes.
Okay,
That's correct.
got it.
And yes, the smaller buses are available in propane, yes.
Okay.
Under Ithan Elementary School, that's $1,086,300, and the majority of that is roofing, which we have a price of $1.4 million to do the whole roof. So again, if we can spend $760,000, again, I think we need to have a conversation about Ithan Elementary as a whole and what we want to do with that moving forward, so we're not putting bad money in good money into bad situations type of thing. Wayne Elementary School, we're looking at $267,000 for next year. Radnor Elementary School, we're looking for $155,000, asking $155,000. And the middle school, we're looking for $89,500 for next year. And then the high school, again, some of that is also the exterior bleachers, but $1,318,467 is what we're requesting there. And then the last page is the capital improvement plan costs. There's a breakdown.
Hang on a second, with regards to the bleachers,
Yes.
what would you do with that 800,000 if we end up doing a bond?
You could save that and move that forward to other projects. It wouldn't necessarily be spent on the bleachers, or as Ken pointed out earlier, we would be able to take a look to see how much money we can actually use to reduce debt or reduce payments by the capital money instead of just floating 100% bond.
Okay, great, thanks.
Or we could just pay Yankee in cash and reduce, I mean, there's all kinds of things we could do.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different options that you have, sure.
Would you consider looking at working in the air conditioning of the gym?
Absolutely, because that would be a capital expenditure. We could certainly look at that as well as whatever we do with the pool. Now, the one thing also in the high school budget, previously I had indicated that I wanted to spend about $200,000 on some mechanicals for the pool. I've pulled that back and suggested that we wait that another year, and the reason for that is as I peel back that onion more and more, my concern is if we were to make that investment, that some of that equipment might have been ripped out with whatever renovations we're ultimately going to do there. So why spend good money after bad? I'd much rather if you have if we're putting money into an item that's going to last you 10 years, let's make sure we get 10, 12, 15 years out of it, not that we have to rip it out 2 years later, if that makes sense. So that's where I'm looking at. That's the reason I'm a little bit more cautious about the pool. We can still survive moving forward, but I think if we hold off, we'll have a much better understanding of the total cost and scope of work for the pool. Okay.
I think this goes to the bigger issue that we were talking about, which is, do we take out this big old bond and throw everything in it? Or do we treat things discreetly as I think they should be treated, because these are standalone projects and I hate to see everything lumped in. And ultimately, if you lump everything into one big old bond, it's going to be a very big old bond that's not easy to defend. I'd keep it as tight as possible. Thank you.
So that was the presentation for the, I know
So
we're flying
this-
through that, but
This final page where you say capital improvement plan request,
yes.
it says remaining balance available in 1920. What, I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that. 1920 budget request and then remaining balance available in 1920. Do you mean for that, is it the work that was done in 1819 for those particular buildings?
I'll let Michelle answer that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle, you're not on,
Some
thank you, now you are.
It's actually a combination of a couple of things, Susan. It could be projects that we completed in 1819 and had funds left and available. And it's also a combination of projects that maybe we aren't going to complete. So that's what that column is. But if you want to look at money that's still in the account, in Fund 32, then you'll need to look down at the bottom where it says less funds remaining from prior projects completed, the 1,303,000. That's all of the funds that are in that Fund 32. So available in 1920 could be projects where we're trying to accumulate funds in order to make sure that we have enough money to do it in a future year.
I might have a quicker way of asking this. If I would have said that the title of that column was remaining available balance for use in 1920?
That's probably a much better.
From wherever it came.
Wherever it came from.
Thank you.
And we
That's
can,
what I need.
we can definitely make a change on that
And
that
then-
column.
Less funds remaining from prior projects, that's sitting in Fund 32, the 1.3.
Correct.
Yeah, thank you. That's all I needed to understand.
Okay, do you guys have any,
For remaining
any,
available.
Questions?
yeah, questions about?
No.
Okay, so we covered the bucket truck in
Yes.
that,
Yes,
so I think that covers,
that's everything on your agenda for
Facilities.
this evening, correct.
yes.
Except
And
public comment.
public comment?
Public comment?
We're done.
Fantastic, there's nobody left. So, new business, anyone? Alrighty, so
You're adjourned.
we're adjourned.
Okay.